And we continue to follow breaking news here at 6. This is a live look from Portland, where we are now getting more new details about a shooting involving Customs and Border Protection agents. We know that 2 people were injured and are in the hospital. Of course, Border Protection or Border Patrol agents, they're involved in this shooting. We're working to learn their conditions right now. Portland police say the initial shooting had happened in one location. Then the injured people drove to an apartment complex about 8 miles away, where they called 911. A spokesperson for Homeland Security says CBP agents were trying to stop a Venezuelan national with ties to the Tren de Aragua gang when he, quote, weaponized his vehicle and tried to run them over. DHS says one agent who feared for his life opened fire. Today's shooting comes on the heels of Wednesday's deadly ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis. One city council member worries about the fallout.
This is an escalation that is going to have the entire community respond. I know that Portlanders are hurting already, and that they're looking for ways to respond in a meaningful way. I hope that that response is peaceful, but I do hope that people show up. I hope that people...
This afternoon, Portland Mayor Keith Wilson released this statement calling for calm, saying, quote, I call on every Portlander to represent our values and to show up with calm and purpose during this difficult time. Portland does not respond to violence with violence. We respond with clarity, unity, and a commitment to justice.
Also developing tonight, Seattle's police chief is responding to recent activity by Immigration and Customs Enforcement here, as well as protests over the deadly ICE shooting in Minneapolis.
Couples Jeremy Harris spoke with Sean Barnes just a couple of hours ago. He joins us live in Seattle with more tonight. Jeremy?
Yeah, Preston and Mary, as things were escalating in Minneapolis, we've now confirmed that ICE was involved in a tense encounter at a cemetery here in Seattle. Today, Police Chief Sean Barnes told me that his officers followed their training when citizens called them to the scene, and new Mayor Katie Wilson did not hold back her feelings about ICE.
I am furious at the federal government's abuse of power. It is unacceptable to kidnap people who are simply going about their lives. There is no place for this in Seattle.
Mayor Katie Wilson addressing ICE arrests here at the Evergreen Washelli Cemetery in North Seattle. On Wednesday, a staff member saw people with guns and called 911 to report a possible kidnapping. When Seattle police arrived, they found immigration agents with 3 people in custody.
It was a call from a concerned citizen that thought that someone was being either assaulted or abducted. Our officers went there. They did exactly what we trained them to do, to de-escalate the situation, to ask for identification, which was provided. There was a great amount of cooperation between. We did not assist in any way, nor that we intervened in any way.
Police Chief Sean Barnes says he understands the concerns from the mayor and community.
Obviously, as a leader, we're all concerned about the state of our city and making sure that people feel welcome here.
The arrests in Seattle came as tensions were erupting following the fatal ICE shooting in Minneapolis. Department of Homeland Security officials say a woman tried to run over an agent, but critics say the agent was not in danger and did not need to shoot the woman. Protests across the country have condemned ICE actions, including a march through downtown Seattle. Chief Barnes said the city will be ready if there are more protests.
Our crowd control policy that was passed during the consent decree is still our policy, even though we're not under a consent decree anymore.
This is a scary situation, and situations like this are when we show ourselves who we are and what we believe. Here in Seattle, we practice solidarity. My message to our immigrant neighbors: this is your city. You should be safe here, and I'm determined to make it that way.
Now, today I did speak with staff at the cemetery, and they said they had no idea that these were ICE agents when they called 911 to report people with guns at the cemetery itself. I've also reached out to ICE to try and get more information about the 3 people who were arrested. Reporting live in Seattle, Jeremy Harris, KOMO News.
Jeremy, I'm curious, did the chief give any insight into what the city's expecting from protests this week?
Well, and that's a good question, Preston, because I think that's what a lot of people are asking right now. The police department didn't seem to have any information about large or expected to get out of control protests. We know there is a demonstration that is planned for tonight down on the Seattle waterfront. And if anything is like last night, there was a large presence, a couple hundred people. They did do a march around downtown near the federal building, but there were no reports of any injuries or damage. Seattle police has what they call the public outreach and engagement team, or POET. They are the ones that are sort of on the front lines there at these protests, and they can go in and make contact with them. So they are planned regardless of how large or small these protests might be in the coming days.
All right, Jeremy Harris live for us tonight in Seattle. Jeremy, thank you. Members of the Seattle City Council are reacting to the deadly ICE shooting in Minneapolis, as well as ongoing ICE activity here in our area. In a statement, Public Safety Chair Bob Kettle writes, quote, ICE's approach to its mission actively undermines local public safety and puts our entire community at risk. He goes on to say, quote, this tragedy was entirely preventable. New council member Eddie Lynn was more blunt in his comments, saying, quote, let me be clear, ICE is not welcome in Seattle. We don't want you here.